Alrighty. Hello, everyone. Incredible greetings. That song is stuck in my head. I don't know why that song is stuck in my head from TikTok. Hello, 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 everyone. Incredible greetings. Oh my god, I just saw the playback on Facebook, and I had my lip. How did I have it? I did. I look like Ziny Wani. Hello, hello, hello. Incredible greetings, everyone. All right, I'm trying. Why is this still on? Oh, because it was under my jacket when I went out. Yes, I went out again in the Miami heat with a jacket on. I am no different than the kids. I understand them because when I have it on, I want to keep it on. So I understand the kiddos. All right, let me clean this a little bit. Ooh, much better. Hi, hello. Woo-hoo. Hey, hey, hey. How is everyone doing? I know it's kind of an odd hour. I've been busy, dude. Like, so much stuff going on that I did not have an opportunity. My goal. Oh, wait a minute. My plan was to go live much earlier, but that just didn't work out. So here we are. All right. What was I about to do? Oh, yes. At everyone. Um, if you are trying to figure out which design software is for you, tap in. Alrighty, copy, paste. Hello. Oh, thank you. This is the jacket that I made to go to Impressions. All right. Let me, come on. Seriously? Okay, there it is. Hey, did you guys check my video out? So yesterday I did the live video making these tumblers. I did post a picture because y'all know the lighting in here is not the greatest, but I did post the pictures. So if you did not get a chance to check out the pictures, they are posted on my Facebook page. And you also can check out the video on how this design was done. I'm gonna let y'all in on something when it comes to like this design. Hold on, give me one moment. Let me fix something over here. I gotta fix something, and then we're gonna get started. Because this is kind of like one of those preaching to the choir type situations when it comes to this setup. I had a aha moment for myself when it came to this. All right, so let's say hello to a few folk. Hello, hello. Incredible greetings. Ooh, we said blessing. Incredible blessings. I like that too. Hello. Incredible greetings, everyone. Welcome. You guys could be anywhere. I thank you for choosing to see that notification and click on it and just come see what your girl was talking about. If it's just to say hi and then go back to work, it's fine. So currently at work, so I'll have to watch later. See, look at that. Doing well. Love the weather changes and the cooler temperatures. It's not well today. It was rainy, but yeah, it was still hot. hello. It's about to pour. That's why I was like, let me hurry up and do this because it's about to pour, and the aftercare gonna have to be all right because I'm not get ready to go home. I'm not coming back out, and they will have to be okay. So maybe we'll be here until 5:30, and I can go pick him up because you can't pick him up before 5:30. So yeah. All right. So, hello. One-stop DNA testing. Oh, that's kind of interesting to see that because I love that platform. So it's like them, they're just on here and they're kind of scrolling. It's kind of interesting to see their name on here. It's actually one of my favorite platforms on TikTok. One of my favorite platforms. I'm like, wait a minute, I know that logo. Logos are important. I didn't quite see the name, but just like out of my peripheral, I saw that logo and I immediately knew who it was. That is like a sign of great branding, that like you have a logo that is out the corner of someone's eye who really can't see, they can recognize your logo and it makes them take a double take. So if you're still on and you didn't just kind of like scroll through, great job. All right. But anywho, I am Shakia, the professor of HS Ink 365. We are the home of the Honestly Speaking brand of products. We carry the absolute best, most efficient sublimination paper and ink. It allows you to create amazing products like my shirt and my jacket at 365 degrees as fast as 30 seconds. Someone says she is on. Come learn something. Yes. As fast as 30 seconds. No butcher paper is required. Like if you're doing like garments and you kind of just put your paper down, you can press that. You don't have to worry about using a butcher paper on the inside, on the top, and all this other stuff. I just use the butcher paper after I'm done sublimating to take away the line of demarcation. So I use my butcher paper for good. Let's see what else. If you're doing something like in a tumbler press, you don't have to add butcher paper around it to at the risk of like it bleeding through and messing up your tumbler press or your mug press. So it's really, really great paper, affordable price. You're able to use lower ink consumption, like lower ink settings, and that's going to make that last a little bit longer. So definitely check out our website, shop.hsink365.com. Or you can check out our TikTok shop. The jacket came from Jiffy Shirts. I had to think about it, but I got it like in the summer, maybe like this was before the pandemic because we were going to actually use the next cheer season, but then the pandemic happened. So I've actually had this jacket for about, but now it's like 3 years since the pandemic, like 3 years. So I've had it for a while, and I got it like that summer before. When all of their like winter stuff was on sale. So yeah. And also we're the home of Stylaholics Anonymous. That is my online platform where I teach you Stilo by Studio for free $99. Been doing it for about almost 9 years now. And then we have 365 Creative Academy where we help you to unlock your creativity in a wide variety of trainings, everything from Silhouette Studio, Photoshop, how to actually make things. Like we have sublimation seminars. We've done party favor, 7-day, was it 7-day, 5-day party favor challenge or like training. We've done foam board. We've done memorial designs. It's been all kind of great things that happen over on our Academy site. So definitely go check that out. Speaking of the Academy site, what we are doing now until the end of the year, as far as just getting education and just learning about different designing, specifically designing in Silhouette Studio, I'm doing what's called design challenges. And we're taking on, just designs. Normally it's like something really small, not really a full-on design for the beginner ones. When we get into ones that's more of like on the master's level, we'll have more of the, oh, thank you for the fire. We'll have more of like putting these different elements together But right now, it's really focusing on simple tasks that some people will kind of take for granted, but knowing how to utilize those tools become very, very, very crucial, like and essential to your design freedom and being able to just have your own design voice and create your own designs. So check out the design challenges. Our last design challenge was the Minnie Mouse watercolor and like the sketch ears. I decided to do a second live of that particular challenge. We're going to see how this goes, what the participation is going to look like. I thought I was going to originally do it today. AT&T came here, had to get a phone line, all this other stuff. So I wasn't able to do it today. So I have it scheduled for tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you're already in the challenge, you can go back into the dashboard. You can sign up to come to that if you just want a refresher and you want to attend another Zoom session with me. But if you missed the first session on last Saturday, then you can't join this one. It will not be as long as that one. We're going to focus on the we do and the you do part in this particular session because you still have access to view everything else. So it's going to be a quicker session, but I wanted to give you guys an opportunity to be on live with me and ask questions. So this will be your last opportunity to be on a live video with me for challenge number 4. If you have tried it out since it is pouring. If you have, kind of looked into it and you've been trying it and you kind of got stuck, this is a great opportunity to bring your questions to the live Zoom. So all you have to do, you don't have to purchase anything else. If you already have it, go back into your dashboard and register for the session that's going to take place tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're going to go through the we do and the I do tomorrow. Okay. Now, for this week's challenge, I have a list. I think last week I read off like the list of things that I wanted to kind of go through, different little design things. But I got a few inboxes, some emails about suggestions. So I thought about, because my plan is to do the calendar and a planner or to-do list type page that you can utilize, you can print it out and it can be useful for you. That was my plan. But I said, let's see if you guys have learned from your punishment, especially over on Facebook and YouTube, where, you guys aren't really engaging and aren't really talking. So, y'all no longer have Q&As anymore. Us over here on TikTok, we be doing the darn thing. We were on, I think for the past 2 days, we've been on live chats and live Q&As for several hours. So we've been having fun over on TikTok. Because see, they aren't on punishment yet. It's a newer platform. It's a newer platform for me over here. So I'm giving them a little bit more grace with, coming on and just being engaging. I'm just trying to spend as much time on the platform. But it's been going really, really good with my TikTok folk over here. And, with them asking questions and being engaging and stuff like that. We had a really, really good, we had some good talks this morning into the afternoon. But over here, y'all on punishment. So we're going to see, if we understand why we're on punishment with the lack of engagement. And I'm going to give you guys an opportunity to redeem yourself and ask, what are some of your suggestions for this week's challenge that will take place on Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time? So if you go to our website right now, when it comes to the VIC, you can just go ahead and roll in it. It has a bunch of question marks, right? Because I wanted to see if y'all were going to be engaging and let me know what it is. Now, don't go crazy. We're not doing full-on designs. We're not doing all over. Let's not get crazy, people. Okay, so I'll lay out some ground rules. No rhinestones, a design style, trying to understand certain things. If it was something like a business card or a care card, this is meant for beginners. We can't go crazy. We're not doing rhinestones. We're not doing full-on designs, y'all. not, those are out of the question. But like if it's something that you've seen and you wanted to know like how to lay out or like create certain things, those are the suggestions that I'm looking for. Okay. For a one-on-ones, you don't see where to schedule. So it's not quite visible on my website. You have to just type in help in the search, or I think it's like help session or something like that in the search, and then you'll see it. I took it off of the main page because it got kind of overwhelming. I ended up doing more one-on-one sessions and I was like swamped. So yeah. So let's see. Someone says flyers with photos. So something like that. Okay. This is also beginner, right? And that's more of like, not just as like masters, but when you're saying like flyers with like photos, it's important to understand just any design software. So that's what we're really going to talk about today. So I do have one that's kind of like a flyer. That's more about layout than understanding how to do a specific design technique. That is laying everything out, being able to find the elements that you would need. So see something like that, right? Someone saying they want a challenge on edit points, if it's changing colors, if it's, so we're just kind of looking, just take different suggestions. That's a good one. Just don't know if it's right for our $5.63 challenges. Okay. I'll see y'all. And see, I will always know when I see specific things, right? So she said, Sweet 16 flyer for a sneaker ball. Like that's kind of I have to work on that. I need some ideas on how to do that. That's very, very specific. So it would be something like that would be how to make like a customized, like, if you had an image, whether it's like to change the colors on it, maybe add glitter, like one of the elements of that particular like flyer invitation would be something that we do in these design challenges, not the entire thing, but like maybe like how to customize a sneaker is something that we would consider for a, I've already done graduation bands, but we're definitely not doing that one. We actually have a class already, like just recently that in grad season. So you can definitely go to the website and check that out because we already like just recently, like in the past 6 months, did a graduation bands. An invitation is on the list. It is going to be more so of a text-based invitation, but that is on the list. But all right, let's get into today's topic, right? All right. I am not affiliated with Silhouette America in any way, shape, or form. Not affiliate them at all, right? But I enjoy teaching Silhouette Studio, especially to beginners and those who, if you've ever looked at Photoshop, you are intimidated by just looking at the layout of Photoshop. I am someone who knows Photoshop. That Photoshop was one of the first things that I learned, but not as an adult, right? I learned Photoshop as a high schooler where my life revolved around high school. I didn't have children that I had to, make time for or a spouse. I didn't have a business and all these other things to where I had to kind of squeeze in time to learn this software. It is what I learned for 4 or 9 weeks, actually, 3 9 weeks, my 11th grade year and my 12th grade year. And then once I went to the military, I was stationed in Korea my first year. So I had a lot of time on my hand being in a remote location. So I spent a lot of time just practicing on different things. Well, for me, it was more so Corel Draw during that time and not necessarily Photoshop, but it's still knowing design techniques. I used to do a lot of stuff in Word. Graphic designing is more about concepts, layout, composition, understanding perspectives and how to make things like, okay, if you want something, if you're drawing something and you want it to appear as if something is closer to you and another element is like further back, it's supposed to be like distance. You create that illusion by making what's in the front bigger and what's to the back smaller. Like that, those are techniques and things that you have to understand when it comes to designing. You can grasp those concepts no matter which software or application you're using. You can create that illusion in Canva. You can create that illusion in Microsoft Word. You can do it in Excel. You can do that in PowerPoint. You can give the illusion that like something is moving through something else. How it looks where, you guys, when you see magazines and you'll see whoever's on the cover, but they have like the words behind their heads and stuff like that. You can do that in a multitude of softwares. It's just knowing the technique, like what has to happen, no matter which software you're doing it in, what has to happen in order to get that look. Hold on one second. Yes, son, I'm live.
She down here called you old.
Why?
She called you old.
Man, I'm live. Bye.
Okay.
Sorry, that's my sister. My son was calling me because my sister's here. I'm glad my sister's here. So, what was I gonna say? They threw me all off. I'm learning to not ignore my family. Like if I'm just on a live video, much as I love you guys, this is not necessarily a class. Like, they know if it's a class, like not to call my phone unless it is an emergency. So it's like I don't really expect calls. If I do see them, I know the answer. But like I'm learning to not ignore calls from my family. And as much as I like y'all and all, if I see the call, it's certain names, I see them, I'm learning to answer them no matter what. Because had I been live, the other, like Zani Mani had one of his first seizures, like in school. And I'm glad that I was not on live that day to where I would have missed that call. So yeah, now I don't, I now answer them whenever they call. So yeah, anywho, when it comes to design softwares, it's about knowing what has to be done to create this illusion. A lot of graphic designing is nothing more than an illusion. You might be, it's probably several layers, and you just have to know how to stack those layers, what needs to be revealed on one layer and not on the next. Like that's really what it boils down to as far as techniques. Once you understand what has to be done, you then have to figure out which software will allow you to do those adjustments, those modifications. Are you working in a software where you can, change the size of one individual element and isolate that, change the size of it, skew it, stretch? I don't know, it felt like a weird little tingle in my hand. Oh, wait. I'm probably on the wrong microphone. Haha. She said we can still hear you. Let me see. I'm probably on the wrong mic. I muted the wrong one. So y'all heard my sister call me old. Okay. There we go. I just realized that. Thank you for that. She was like, we can still hear you. So, that means earlier today, did I mute the wrong one? I don't know, but I just muted that one. Thank you for that. But anywho, yeah, I try my best not to like ignore them anymore. What was I saying? That threw me off too. So it doesn't matter which software you do it in, you just have to be able to, whether it's stretch it, make it smaller. Things like change, like isolating something. Like, so if you were to take a picture of me, being able to take my shirt and isolate my shirt and change the color on it, or take the words that are on my shirt, be able to isolate those or trace those out and change the color on it. Canva doesn't necessarily allow you to do that where you can select just a specific area. Silhouette Studio, you can do that because you have the ability to use edit points. Photoshop, you have the pen tool, which is basically edit points. You have a magic wand, you have a quick selection, you have marquees, you have your paint bucket. There's a lot of different tools there that will allow you to isolate something or add color into a specific area. Procreate will allow you to add it into a specific area, or at least take your brush and color in that area, change your brush size. So you can do different edits in those programs. Of course, Illustrator, same thing. There is no paint bucket because there are no pixels in it, but there are basically like edit points and nodes. Affinity Designer, same thing. It's a vector-based program, so it's going to operate like Illustrator or Silhouette Studio or Corel Draw. Affinity Photo is more of like a photo editing. It works in pixels. So all of these things are softwares that will allow you to create your own versions of designs, create your own layouts, your own setup, your own compositions, add text, whatever text you want, add color to the text. You just have to know, one, how to use that software, where to find the needed tools, and what you have to do to get your desired outcome. There's a difference between being a graphic designer and being a graphic artist, okay? Someone that will do like a menu or the junk mail that you have. A company, they either hired one or they in-house, they'll have a graphic designer that can go and put a color bar at the bottom, put the text in there, know what point size to use, arrange this, twist it, add a picture in there, put it inside. Like they can arrange that. That's more of like a graphic designer, right? Then when it comes to artists, it's not like the technical like terms for this, but think of it like as an artist as someone who can actually make these items. They are an artist that can either do it digitally or they can do it with pen and paper or pencil and paper, watercolors. This is actually AI created. AI is making it really easy for people to be like, appear to be like artists, because as long as you can do great prompts, you can end up getting results. And they are pulling this from like things all across the web that's just there where other people have created it. So this can either be AI or someone can go in and they are a graphic artist. They'll start with like their base file and then they'll start to fill this in with colors and stuff like that. I watch a young lady on TikTok. I can't think of her name, but she always says, she calls us coconuts, the ones who watch her color. She colors and she knows how to like shade with crayons and color pencils and markers to add depth and add shadows and highlights and things like that. So you have some people that will do that with their hands, and then you have some people that will do it digitally. Those are artists. Like they have a unique skill set and they're able to create these things. Then you're going to have what, for me, and by my definition, a designer who can go and find those images. You're going to scour the internet. You're going to scour, the internet, or you will have, you've seen her. Yeah, she's amazing with coloring in her coloring book. And like Raw Sushi, she draws. And she actually does a lot of good coloring too. And now she has a coloring book. Her name is Raw Sushi. Actually, to know me is to know that I love me some Raw Sushi. Where did her I just had that thing. I have one of her pieces of art. It's one of my favorite. I literally was just looking at that thing. Where did it go? So it's like, for me, I am not an artist on this level. Where in the heck? I just saw this thing. It's actually a good representation of the point I was trying to make, and I have no idea where it's at. Like I literally just saw this thing. I have no idea where it went. But like, I'm not that type of artist. Like, I'm not going to be able to draw it out. Now, there are things that I can create. I like to create vector files. So I could create a pumpkin. I can create a car. I can so I know how to take an actual image and vectorize it, because I know how to build the shapes out over it and what layer they need to be in, where to subtract, where to crop, where to weld. So I'm able to design digitally like that. I have a little bit of artistic skills and I can draw a little bit, but it's not, it's not kind of like on that level to where I'm ever going to create something like this. This takes a lot of work if you were actually drawing it out. But that's like what a designer can do. They can go PNG Tree, Creative Fabrica, designbundles.net, just search in Google, Etsy, places like that. And you're going to take all of these different elements and you're going to bring them into a software where you can layer them. And by layer, it's like something has to be to the back, something has to be to the front. You're going to arrange them. You're going to make something bigger, smaller, twist it, turn it. And there's several programs that you can do that in. So you can be a graphic designer of sorts, because you're going to know how to actually put those together in a cohesive way that's going to be appealing to yourself as well as those who you're trying to sell it to. Knowing graphics, it's like knowing that, like, what styles, and like to not kind of mix them together. If you have something that is like this, where there's no harsh outlines, this is not line art, and then mixing it with something that is line art, like they just won't mesh well. I see a lot of you guys that do that, where you'll have like an image like this, but then your accent images are of a totally different style and it's not cohesive at all. This is what I try to do as an instructor or a teacher of graphic designing, is teach you how to actually compose a cohesive design. You don't have to be the person that makes every single element. I am able to teach you how to create some of your own like elements, things like a pattern, a pattern paper, if it's polka dots or stripes, and how to make it to where you can customize that for whatever color you want it to be. Making your polka dots big, small, if you wanted to have a mixture of them. Instead of always going out and purchasing digital paper like that, you can actually create your own. So I a lot of times like teach stuff like that. We did the one on the vector, how to make, it was like a little cute cupcake. And we actually did a trace of one, and then we created one from scratch. It's all about knowing how to use shapes and things like that. Yesterday, I showed the flamingo. And when it was an EPS file, even for the feathers, like it wasn't just drawn as one. Each of those feathers was a separate piece, and they kind of created one. They duplicated it, put it there, stretched it, rotated to make it look like the tail of the flamingo. You see the wire framing of it, where you see all of the circles and all the shapes, and it was like a big old thing in the middle. You can go back and watch that one, because that one I was on StreamYard, so you can go back and kind of see the breakdown of that flamingo. You can be the person that can design like that. As long as you can visualize the shapes, you can create vector designs yourself. For me, I personally feel like learning to design or be an artist, to create art with vector, is one of the easiest things to do, because it's all about solid shapes and just arranging them and just kind of getting that look. Certain design softwares like Photoshop are bitmap. They are made up of pixels. Yes, it is a major industry staple when it comes to designing. So I heard someone today, and they were just like downing what Silhouette Studio is. And I got kind of I'm not going to lie, I got offended, because it's like, well, I use Photoshop because I strive to be, they put like the red, like 100, like I guess like authentic or real or the best. And I'm like, just because I teach Silhouette or I'll do things in Silhouette doesn't mean that I'm not striving for the best. Just because you enjoy using Photoshop and it's what works for you doesn't mean that other softwares can't be just as great. Because if you know how to design, it really doesn't matter what software you design it in as far as the actual concept of the design. Now, things that will vary from these softwares is what you can do as far as like blend modes and how you can make something look, certain color changes, how long it might take to do a task in one software versus the other. But it doesn't mean that, I'm not just as much of an artist or I'm not just as professional. Stuff like that really kind of triggers me, not gonna lie. Because I think people just don't give it a chance. They automatically think that Silhouette Studio is just a software. And as they said, oh, it's just for printing. Well, it's just for if you're going to do a print and cut. It's just for cutting. No, it's not. Now, Cricut Design Space, yes, you can do some things over there, but you don't have a lot of control. Leonardo Design Studio is kind of the same way. Canva is cool because you have a lot of elements already in that application. So you're able to do a search, pull a JPEG, pull a PNG in without having to search the entire internet. And you're able to pull that in, mix it with some stuff. They have, features like duotones, or still have, being able to adjust the transparency on something, being able to rotate certain things, but you can't really create a lot of things. There are certain shapes that you have access to, really basic shapes. But if I wanted to go and recreate that flamingo, if I wanted to design like my logo and design this from scratch and all of those different pieces, I can't do that in Canva. But I can do this. Wait, wrong side. I can do this with like my drip. I can do that in Silhouette Studio. I can do that in Affinity. I can do that in Illustrator. I can do that in Photoshop. You just have to know what it is that you're trying to accomplish and then figure out the best software that's going to help you accomplish those goals that you have at that time. Everyone doesn't need to learn Photoshop. For what a lot of creatives and a lot of crafters want to do, Photoshop is actually overkill. Now, as your business grows, as you have different needs, then you may need to look into these more commercialized softwares that's going to be more to allow you to do things more efficiently. But that doesn't change what you know to be true as a designer and how to set it up. I don't get paid by Silhouette America at all. Folks don't even know I exist. Don't send me anything. But for my community, I see the frustrations of people trying to learn at our nice, ripe ages, trying to learn Photoshop, and you open it up and you see all of these tools. So not only do you not know how to put designs together, it's like, I don't even know how to figure out these tools. Like, this is a lot. And you click on one, you end up with 30,000 other tools. So I decided to teach graphic designing. Anyone that took Challenge 4 knows we talked about designing. When it came to that shadow for the fireworks, when it came to understanding the negative space, when it came to changing colors, we talked about things being heavy on one side, like top heavy on one side, and it's not enough on another side, and how it can create an imbalance. I teach design. So I do get a little triggered when people make it seem like me teaching Silhouette Studio that I'm steering people wrong, don't give people false hope. But I'm like, until you've taken one of my classes, don't say what something can't do or how I am teaching it. I'm very passionate about Silhouette Studio. Anything that I touch, I teach, I'm going to be passionate about. Even if I don't work for them, I don't make any money for them, I'm never going to put anything out there that's just bullcrap or that's just trash. So I want you guys, if you are watching this and you've kind of like, it's always been in your mind to learn Photoshop, and you've been saying that for a really, really long time, and you still haven't learned it. You're still looking for someone to teach you that. Or maybe you've taken a Photoshop class, but you still don't understand what you're doing. It's because you don't understand design. If you've hesitated taking any of my classes because I mainly teach from Silhouette Studio, try me. Take one of these challenges for you to see. You're going to learn design and what I teach you as far as design and how something has to be set up. You can take that same information and apply it to any software that has those capabilities. Okay. I look at Canva as an easy out from designing original pieces. So you can somewhat you can still do original, because like we can be using the same, like let's say we search donuts and we choose the same 3 donuts, but how I'm going to arrange it, what other accent pieces I'm going to add to it will be different for yours. So I do think that you can create original designs. You may not be able to create that original art, like you don't know how to make and shade in those donuts, but you can take those 3 donuts and you can make a flyer, you can make an invitation, you can make a Tumblr design, you can make a newsletter, you can add it to a calendar. You can go and make a calendar that is 12 months of different sweets, and you're going to go and pull all of these different imageries from whether it's Canva, Creative Fabrica, designbundles.net, PNG tree, and you're going to arrange that and mix it with a calendar because you like sweets. So I think you can be original. It's just that for me, Canva makes it really easy to get started if you are someone that struggles with visualizing the end product. So they give you a lot of templates, like for invitations, for flyers, for banners, stuff like that. Instagram posts. They're going to give you templates, and all you have to do is change out the elements, and that will help you get better with designing. Only if you take the time to deconstruct what you see in that template. Like really take it apart and see how they designed it, then you'll be able to eventually design your own. Ow. I hit my elbow early and it hurts. Okay, so let's see what we have over here. She says, you got to crawl before you walk, people. I have a prior commitment. I understand. Of course, you guys always have access to the playbacks. I wish someone could teach me Silhouette. Hey, that's what I'm here for. Are you new to, I'm not sure if you're still here. If you are you new to my platform? Because I have 8 years of free videos on YouTube that you can learn from. You're just going to put in Silaholics Anonymous and whatever it is that you're trying to learn, like whatever your keywords are. I'm pretty sure some sort of video will come up. And we also have dedicated classes. We have an amazing 30-day training that breaks down every single tool and function of Silhouette Studio. So you're going to understand where they're at, what their base functions are. And then when we get into the designing, or you take one of our challenges, you now see how you use these tools that you've learned. Like, okay, what does subtract do? What happens when you hit subtract? What happens when you select subtract all? When should you use subtract all? When should you use crop? Once you understand that, now when you're putting it in designs, it really makes sense. So if you're really serious about wanting to learn Silhouette Studio, I don't know what your financial situation is, but I would try to make plans to enroll in our 30-day training. And once you enroll in it, you got to actually do the work. Okay. You got to do the work. You can't just buy it and just let it sit there. You have unlimited access to it. If you're not doing it in a straight 30 days, then do at least 1 a week, 2 a week, and go through that. Take notes. Take notes, take notes, take notes, take notes. Even if your note is a question for me, take notes as you are going through it. Hey, just got the notification. Do you work with Photoshop? Prefer Design Space over Photoshop? I'm basic in both. So I use Photoshop. All of my thumbnails are done in there. My obituaries that I do are done in there. When I want to be able to do like certain things, color changes, fades, I go there quite often, but I will say for me, when I'm putting together design concepts, Silhouette Studio is a little bit easier. The workflow for Silhouette Studio is easier because I don't have to like double click to change a color. I can click on something, go straight to my color palette. I can fill that color in. If I want to change the size of something, I don't have to go into free transform mode. I can click on it, I can resize it. When it comes to figuring out a font and just arranging that, I'm able to just type it out, select that font, move it. It's a little bit easier to do those tasks in Silhouette Studio than it is to do in Photoshop. I have designs like when I did of a basketball design for senior night for a basketball team. I did the concept in Silhouette Studio because it was easier to make the boxes. It was easier to kind of crop things down and get a general idea. And then I went into Photoshop because I needed to be able to do blend modes. I needed to have screen so that certain colors pop and like there was an overlay. I needed to go into Photoshop for shadows. I needed to go in there for 3D, like to make it like a 3D look. So there are times where I have to use Photoshop. And sometimes I'll go in Photoshop, I'll create an element, save it as a PNG, and then bring that PNG into Silhouette Studio because laying out the design is a lot easier there than in Photoshop. So they both serve, for me, Silhouette Studio, Photoshop, and Illustrator are my go-tos, and they all serve different purposes. And I'm in Photoshop and Silhouette every single day. Illustrator, somewhat like, I always have Illustrator open, but I'm not normally in Illustrator every single day. But Photoshop and Silhouette, I literally design in those every single day. So idea. Getting PNG JPEGs to have the correct outer offset and cut lines when using images for print and cut. Still trying to make my own planner stickers. I'm okay. So when you say the correct outer offset, is it that you're talking about how thick the line is? I'm not fully understanding. I see what you're saying, but I'm not understanding what problem you're having. Is it that it's not covering the whole thing? Is it not thick enough? I need a little bit more. You love Rasushi? Oh my God, I love her art. And her art is the way she does her noses and her lips on certain things and her eyes as well. It's like she has a signature look. I always know when something is Rasushi's. Layering class will be great. Teaching how to choose the best background for your art and making the art pop without it looking like you just placed it there without any intentions. Okay. Yeah, that's more of like our master's program when we're going through that because it's which was that? I think Foundations of Designing. I talked about if you're doing something that is rustic, if you're doing something that is grunge, is it soft? Is it whimsical? That is really important as well. Not just like what you put on the screen, understanding what to look for. So in Foundations of Designing, we talked about that. If it's something that's supposed to be elegant, you can't go and use like impact if you wanted an elegant look. What does elegant mean? What does whimsical mean? What does playful mean? If it's contemporary, if it's futuristic, if it's rustic, if it's grunge, then you'll know like what type of backgrounds you are looking for. You have to understand styles or genres as well in order to be a great designer. Oh, yeah, true. But, I'm going to always say, I don't know that they know that I do know that they know I exist. But, for the sake of this, I'm just going to say they don't know I exist. She was like, we sure did. I know that was in reference to us going over composition and layout. Like I teach graphic designing. And she says, don't hesitate because those skills can be applied elsewhere. All right. So and see, this is why y'all on punishment. We got what, maybe at any, with the number of people that are watching on all the platforms. I'm in several different Facebook locations, and 3 YouTube channels, and I think we got maybe 4 suggestions for the next challenge. Graduation, a Sweet 16 flyer, very specific sneaker ball. I will say, like, I don't know what look you're going for. Is it a specific type of sneaker, things like that? Did you want to have a realistic looking sneaker? Did you want to have more of a vector based one? There's a lot to it. So I can't, when people say, oh, well, I want an invitation for sneaker ball, I don't know your design style, right? I can go and I can teach something. You may feel like, oh man, I didn't help me because that's not the style that I wanted to do. My goal is to teach you designing so that you can find your own design voice and you apply what I teach you to whatever it is that you're trying to design. We actually have a tracing masterclass on our academy, and it's actually taking a sneaker, tracing it out, and being able to change the colors, change the laces, separate the sneakers. So that's like one element. Like you would have to do that and then add it to the rest of your design. Graduation fan, like I said, we've already done that. An invitation, what type of invitation? A wedding invitation, a baby shower invitation, a engagement party invitation, because these are all different. The way that you would lay them out is going to be different. Is it all text? Is it you want to have some imagery on it, like JPEGs or like certain elements, like I don't know why I immediately went to like the banner flags, like for birthdays. And I also have I have quite a few but yeah, I have quite a few invitation like type been my song layouts on my YouTube channel. So you guys can definitely check that out. So yeah, we only got 2 or 3 suggestions on what we should do for the next challenge. So I think I'm going to end up sticking to it will be on there right now. They're all scheduled for Saturdays. I always have to make a huge offset to get rid of any inner cut lines. Then after releasing Compound Path and removing the inner cut lines, I don't like the huge offset that's remaining. So, okay. We're gonna so just let you guys see, if you've never seen me teach, you don't know how like I teach, I'm going to use your example and I'm going to kind of show you some things about like Silhouette Studio. I'm going to use Silhouette Studio because this would not matter if it was Silhouette Studio, if it was Illustrator, if it was Photoshop, you would still run into the same exact issue no matter the software. What's going to be important in this is understanding how it is set up and why you are experiencing that. So I'm going to use that as an example of it doesn't matter which software, you have to understand what it means to design. You have to understand that composition. You have to understand that layout and where things are, okay? Is there a way to change the output resolution on a design? No. Once someone has designed it and saved it, you cannot change that. However, they saved that JPEG, that full-on design, unless you are going to now recreate it in a different setup, like if you now open up, if you had a file that was this big, just because you open that up in a Photoshop page that was 12 by 12 at 300 DPI, if you take that and you now increase it, it's not going to make it better just because you saved it in a new file that was 300 DPI, because that original image was already really small or a low quality. So you cannot just simply change the output or make it look better. But when you are designing, you can decide how it's going to look. Where is this thing at? Who know people is? TikTok saw it yesterday. I'm gonna show y'all what y'all been missing since y'all don't want to engage. TikTok got the good yesterday. Where in the hell are these papers at? Oh, They staring me right in my face, Jesus. So I showed them yesterday the differences in how something that is, so we did it in Photoshop, and I created different design page sizes at different DPIs, 72, 100, and 300. So they got to see, like, when it was the original image, obviously that image, they designed that as a high resolution image. So when you're simply just looking at them side by side in the software, so I even moved it from one design window to the next, and when I resize them, they look exactly the same because I had not saved it and locked in that DPI. Now, once I saved the one that was 72, 100, and 300, you can then tell the difference. So now if I were to take this one that I saved at 72 and I opened it in a new file that had 300 DPI, it's not going to change how this looks. This, once saved, can never give me the results of this one. It will never look like the one that's 300 DPI once you've saved it. Now, when you have it in your design page and it's like the raw file, you typed out the text, you can always rearrange that text because it's still, if you haven't rasterized it, it is still kind of like vector. So you can resize that because it's just color. Now, once you rasterize that, you can't go back and change it. You've now locked in those pixels. That's why it's important to understand the differences in Photoshop, which is a bitmap or a pixel-based software, and something like Silhouette Studio or Illustrator or Corel Draw or Affinity Designer that is vector-based. But yeah, they got this, and I'm going to show you how many different ways. Like, I was also testing print settings because this was done with AI. Most AI sites don't take into consideration color profiles and color management. So on the screen, it looked a certain way from Photoshop. So the ones that don't have anything on the bottom, this came from Photoshop, and it still has the incorrect color for the hair, even though it's showing gray. I went in and I tried to change levels, and it still came out incorrectly because of where this, like, the original image was designed. It was designed in one of those AI softwares. So it's like, this is how I teach. This is in like what I do, like having different print settings. I showed them about the different DPIs. And then there is the one where, so this one looks brighter because I changed the density on it, and I took it all the way up, or the saturation. But that was from Silhouette. So, okay, this one and this one, they're the exact same file, printed on the exact same settings. And to me, in person, the Silhouette one is actually brighter, or the color looks better than the one from Photoshop. So today someone was debating me that you get better colors from Photoshop. It just really depends on the look that you are going for. It's not always better, because sometimes it will mute it out. But these are it was designed from one, printed out, and yes, actually, no, wait a minute. No, I'm telling the fib. This is not the one. It's this one. These two. One was from Silhouette, and this one, and these were done, printed out, Adobe RGB Gamma 2.2, because I was hoping that 2.2 would give me more black, but it didn't. So these two, Silhouette Studio, Photoshop. So for the people that say, oh, you do in Photoshop, it gives you a better look, whatever, not all the time. But those are the types of testing that I do, the type of trainings that you get when you're in my programs. If you're really trying to understand your colors, understand your design, understand what it is that you are seeing on these screens, understanding the files that you are purchasing from Etsy or Creative Fabrica or PNG Tree, whatever. That's the way I teach. Whether it is on my free platforms, my YouTube channels, you can go back and watch the 8 years of content, or you get into one of our dedicated specific subject classes. So cancer awareness for the different types of cancer. I also need you guys to think a little bit deeper. What about cancer awareness for the different type of cancers? What about it? That's not telling me anything. Okay, that can be a ribbon in all the different colors. That's all the cancer awareness for different types of cancer. What type of design are you trying to create? When you don't know what you're looking for, you're going to end up staring at your computer and constantly feeling like, okay, well, I don't know what to design, because you're not being very specific either in your thought process and your request. I like the idea for the calendar and to-do list challenge. That's something I'm trying to make for my daughter right now. All right, boom. Because that's originally what it was. I told y'all that a couple of days ago. These are printed from a pigment ink printer on just regular cardstock. Well, I forget which cardstock this is. Is this Koala? This might be Koala's photo paper cardstock. I don't remember which one this is, but this is printed. This is pigment ink. This is not, although I did sublimate this. Where's the sublimation one? I did sublimate this. We not finna fall. That's what we not gonna do. We not about to fall. Nope, not that one. Nope, not that one. Nope, not that one. Where in the heck is it? Well, we subbed it yesterday on TikTok. Don't know what happened to it, but we did sublimate it yesterday. But I don't see the fabric that I sublimated it on. I was doing a whole lot of printing. I was determined to figure this out. This is actually DTV, Caesar DTV. Yeah, I don't see it. I don't know what I did with that scrap piece of fabric, or I may have taken it home. Hold on. Let me check my bag to see if I took that piece of fabric home with me yesterday. I did not. So I have no idea where it went. Nope, don't know where it was, but we did sublimate it yesterday also on TikTok. She says, go ahead and sign up for Essential Silhouette Studio. You build a great foundation for graphic designing. Now, if you're just kind of jumping on, if you were already registered for Challenge 4, or if you want to sign up right now, you're going to go to our website for VIC. That one did not have a free access for that particular one. You can go to our website and you can still enroll in Challenge 4. You can enroll at any time. But tomorrow at 6 p.m., we're going to do another live Zoom session where you can be on the Zoom. doing it with me, being able to ask questions and get them answered in real time. That Zoom is going to take place tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is the Zoom registration is already on your dashboard. Register early. There are limited spaces in when it comes to the Zoom sessions. So register early and get there early. And then Saturday is challenge number 5. I was originally slotted to do calendars and a to-do kind of like planner page is what we were slotted to do for Saturday. But I figured I would come on here and ask you guys if there was anything in particular. Just wanted to kind of see if there was like something where, like, a good majority of the people wanted, and I was going to change it to that. But I asked, and only a few of you answered, and it was all kind of different answers. So we're going to probably stick with the calendar and the to-do list. It's already on the website. You can enroll right now for that one. So you'll see, and it has a bunch of question marks on it, but I'm going to actually update that one tomorrow, where we're going to end up doing the calendar and to-do list. So I'm not sure what I'm looking for, but I was just diagnosed with a rare form of lymphoma, and I want to show my desire to bear it and get information about it. Okay. Is it that you want more words? Are you looking for words of awareness? These are things that you have to think about when it comes to designing. Like, what is the intended message? What's going to be the focal point? Is there a symbol for that one? Like, did you want to use a butterfly? Is it just the symbol? I see a lot of breast cancer ones going around where it's like, it looks like it's somebody's hands that has on a pink sweater and they have their nails. That doesn't speak to me. I don't get that particular design. I don't see the allure behind this design where it's like those sweater with them nails like this, just because it's pink and it says cancer. Those designs don't make sense to me, like, at all. There's a lot of other ones, just don't make no sense to me. So you have to think about what does make sense to you. What is it that you want to see? Pull inspiration. You can have something that was set up for St. Patrick's Day, but you like the way that it looked, whatever that color is. You can now, create something that is like that. It could have been a baby shower invitation. You like the softness of it, and you want it, you want your design to be a bit softer. Or do you want it to be a really bold design that says, hey, we need more awareness on this. We need to talk about this more. So you want it to be something that is bold. Is it going to be an informational shirt? There's a lot of things that you have to think about when it comes to creating this design. Write it down. Write down your ideas. Cannot stress that enough. If you don't have a notebook to write down your ideas, you need to go to Five and Below, Dollar Tree, somewhere, and get you a notebook to start writing down your ideas, writing down different concepts. It's not a waste of time to write down a concept. It's not a waste of time to go through several different design concepts, like on your computer. It may not work for that one particular shirt or tumbler or whatever, but maybe elements in there or how it's set up, you can use it for something else. I got a bunch of designs that I've done. I'm notorious for giving my clients like 5 or 6 different versions of a design. So I had to spend the time to make them, but they're only choosing one. Sometimes they'll do 2, they'll choose 2. One of my latest clients, she did that. They chose both. The shirts came out amazing. I forgot to ask her if I can post them on my page. But she chose both of them, and her family, like, each one had like certain designs that they wanted. So I'm always making more than one design. It's very rare that I sit and I just design one concept. So think of several different concepts. So to beat it, right? Now, when you think, okay, you want something about beating this. Is it something that is curable, or is it just manageable? Is it about, you have to go through a lot of therapy or radiation or whatever it is? Like, is it a bunch of medicine? What does it take to quote unquote beat it? Then you're going to bring awareness to that, because if it's medicine, that is going to affect your hair. So then, that's why the breast cancer ones, it's always a lot of times it's like scarves, or it's people that, they have imagery where someone is bald, because that is like a major symbol of going through, like, even though other cancers have radiation, you can lose your hair. It's just something about the whole breast cancer one where people go to that first. They think of cancer and someone lost their hair, they're immediately thinking about like breast cancer if it's a woman. So what does it mean to be? What is that message that you want someone to know about that? How does it affect your body? How does it affect your family? Are you making designs about just your journey and your plight to beat it? How is it going to affect your family? So like we do things for epilepsy. Zion Imani is the warrior in all of this. And we as a family, like how it affects us. I have designs that's about how we feel as a family when it comes to epilepsy and just supporting him. You have to think about all of those things. All right. So I'm going to baby shower centerpieces with jungle animals. So you're trying to make a centerpiece. I don't teach designing for something like for these challenges. It's not to teach you how to design for a specific thing. Designing is designing. If you have a great design, you should be able to design that one thing and then be able to put it on a shirt, a tumbler, a mug, a yard sign, a chip bag, a this or that. Like you should be able to use it any type of way. So you're saying a baby shower centerpiece with jungle animals. That can simply be jungle animals. Like this is a centerpiece. I'm not teaching how to cut foam board in these. Now, if you need to know how to size it, these are design challenges. These are not project challenges to where I'm giving you like the tools or the materials that you need for this. But this can be a centerpiece. And all you had to do was find a jungle animal and size it up, cut it out, put it on some foam board or put it on the soft foam, cut it out, paint it, boom, hey, you have a centerpiece. So it's not really a lot of design kind of to that, unless, maybe if it's like you can't figure out how to layer a bunch of them together, that's a little bit different. But just saying a centerpiece with jungle animals, I have no idea what look you're looking for. You can do it to where, let's say, this particular baby shower is jungle animals, but it's with like everything is gold. Like we're doing golden ones. So how do I go and take this regular tiger and make it look like it's a golden tiger? Like that's a design technique. But just saying jungle animals, what about them? Are they the actual colors of them? Is it a vector-based one? Do you want them to be realistic jungle animals? Are they going to be colored animals? Is it going to be fluorescent? Is it going to like, you see where I'm going here? Like you have to start to think. It's like you almost become crazy. Like you have to think so much deeper to get the results that you want. And today, y'all tripping on TikTok. I need y'all to double tap that screen. All right. Oh, it's 5:42. Let me show this really, really quick. I'm not sure if she's on. I said I was going to show it. So let me show this really, really quick. And then I got to get out of here. I got to go pick up Zion Imani. See, y'all help me get to 5:30 because they always trip if you pick them up early. You have to pick them up after 5:30. So let's go present, share screen, entire screen to share, and let's flip you guys around. Let's go share screen, add to stage. Okay, so this was from challenge. What challenge was this, y'all? Challenge 3? Challenge 3, right? So this, right? These two, same text, right? I'm going to make them the same. Like I'm going to pick a letter and make these two technically the same size. I know y'all can't see over on TikTok. Hold on. All right. So the font sizes are relatively the same, right? Now, okay, we gotta try and pull y'all out some. Okay, so they are relatively the same. The difference in this is the spacing in here and the spacing here. So if I were to come over here and I put an offset, and I'm going to go 0.25. Okay, I said 0.25. Okay, so I'm going to go apply. I now have a full outline around this one. I don't have one around this because they are too spread apart. If I wanted to take this and make it into a sticker where it's all connected, I have no choice but to make my offset much, much larger. So 0.5 doesn't do it. If I have to go to 1, okay, so that somewhat crosses them over. So I'm going to go to apply and I'm going to make that like that. But that's too big. You cannot force the offset. You're trying to force your design to do something that it simply cannot do. There isn't enough space in there to make it where it's connected. Now, let's say I go in and I add this little guy. Well, do I have one that's already colored? No, I do not. Okay, that's okay. Release compound path. Okay, there we go. No, that's not how I wanted that. Undo. Okay, there we go. All right. Now, whether he's big or even if it was like, let's just say this element right here. I'm going to first do this one. We're going to go offset. And what I did the first time, 0.25, enter, apply. Just by having that little piece in the middle, I've now created a connection for this whole thing, and it can cut out that way. Now, if you did not want it to kind of come in, so this would now be your outline for your sticker, right? Well, if you wanted it to be more solid and you didn't want it to kind of come in and there's all these openings, well, then you have to change your design. You cannot force this to give you a certain type of look if it's 3 letters at the top and all these letters all these characters at the bottom. You're gonna have open space over here. Now, if I take this and I'm gonna ungroup it, group that together, bring this down, group this whole thing. And we're also going to move you, put you back. Offset 0.25, apply, fill that in. So once again, this is connected. Now, if you did not want like the cutout in between the T, that's when you would, okay, hold on. Come on now. Okay, that's when you would release compound path and weld that, but it's only going to take out this one because it never connected here. It never connected there. So this can look kind of weird because it's like you have this closed off, but then you have all of these openings. It's about how you arrange it. You have to think about the end result, how you want it to look. You have to think about that so that you can set it up and get your desired results. So I have this here. I'm going to move this little guy over here. I'm going to put the candy, make that a little bit bigger right there. Now, when I go to offset, I can even probably do a smaller offset. Before I was at 0.25. I can do 0.15, and this is actually, uh-oh. Come on now. Oh. So see, it's solid. Everything is touching. I can, so I'm only losing the middle part. Nothing else is going to close in. So if I wanted the whole thing to be solid, then I would have had to make my offset a little bit bigger so that when I release, it would close it in. Where are we at? Oh, I gotta go, y'all. Okay, offset. Okay, hold on. Let me do this real quick. 0.25. Okay, apply. Fill that in. Control Shift E. Boom. So now that would be solid. You have to know what your desired results are so that you can arrange it correctly the first way. But what you were probably trying to do is force it to do something that it just was not intended to do. Now, what you could also do is once you have it here, it's not going to be the same, but you now do an internal offset. It's just, it may not look how you really want it to, though. It's not going to really be contoured. But now that is a little bit closer, but it may not be the look. So you can't force it to do something that it's not intended to do. All right. This actually wasn't even one of our design challenges. So our design challenges are on our website. We have 4 that have already happened. We're going to have a additional Zoom session tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can still enroll in it. If you attended the first one, you can still attend the second Zoom session. Maybe a question in there will help you kind of, better understand something. And then this one was our mystery one. I was going to give you guys an opportunity to pick the lesson, but we're going to stick to calendars and to-do lists or planner sheets. So that's what we're going to do. This will take place on Saturday. You can sign up for it. There's nothing in the dashboard right now. All the information will be in there tomorrow, but it will take place on Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay. All right, y'all. I should talk to you guys later. I got to go get my little one so that I don't get a late fee. Until next time, guys, have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity. Be incredible. Visit our website, shop.hsinc365.com. No, this is not still valid. It's only valid the day after the Dolphins win. So always check back on a Sunday, or if we have a Monday night game, check on a Tuesday. If we put on a Thursday, check back on a Friday. So that's that. All right, y'all. Peace.